So before we begin, though, I just want to ask how people feel about the subject matter. Any comments? Oh, Kenny?
I feel curious because I heard of this. I met a guy that they claimed had that ability, but it's a very difficult paradigm for me. So, but I'm also in a situation where in the next 6 months I'd like to lose 25 pounds. So let's see if we can give this a try.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
Well,
it's
that's again, it's not about fasting or dieting, right? It's not.
no.
That's not what they're doing, right? It's really about changing their vibrational state, changing their consciousness, right? So it just comes naturally. And often with people, it can take decades. And when I show a video about the Breatharian Festival in Italy, one woman said, it took her 3 decades, right? And it just came naturally. She wasn't, set out to do that, though it was something she, sometimes I guess put out there in the universe, but, she finally, got to that point. So, Kelly?
No worries. I think it's amazing because I've heard that it can cure cancer and all kinds of diseases because there's really nothing but clarity in your mind and body. So I think it's great.
Yeah. And Shima?
I just want to say that I'm also curious to see if in this process they also get any the kind of insight or awareness, because for us, like in Halqa mysticism or Irfan, that's like the end goal for us. So whatever we do or any spiritual process that we go to, the end thing would be, okay, so what do you get from this process? So like, how did it change you, or like your mindset, or like what sorts of insights did you get? What sorts of inspirations or awareness you get? So that's what I'm really curious about to see.
Yeah, there will be some people talking about that, right? Like they use it for channeling. There was a woman that actually talked about in the longer version of the video. So where I've taken videos and spliced them down, I will post links to the longer videos if you want more details about,
Nice.
what happened to them and that. I also, along with Jasmuheen and the people at this Breatharian festival, and by the way, Jasmuheen and Olga Podorovskaya in the Ukraine, they both would attend this festival. But I didn't include their talks there. I wanted other interviews by them. But they get into that, how it changed them over time too. I also have just a very short, like a 2-minute video with Michael Warner from Switzerland. And he wrote the book, Life from Light. And he's a scientist, right? And even at this festival, there are scientists that speak that because they live on light. Are we ready for the first one? Okay.
Ready.
I want to show this first one, which is a young couple. First, Jasmuheen speaks, and then it's a young couple that live on light.
I never say I never eat. I just say I have freedom of choice because I do. And that's a great gift. So that's a huge freedom. It's been nearly 20 years for me now.
I am not feeling hungry from 2008. That something happened in my body, but the sensation, the feeling of all of that is gone. And that was one of the first, like, wow, I don't feel that. Because before, when I used to eat a lot.
It's fascinating because I don't feel like I'm depending on anything. In those moments, if I choose to drink something or eat something, it's not ever because I feel hungry. I don't remember what that sensation feels like.
people, when they increase their chi flow, their prana level, they don't get sick anymore like people generally do. They still may get sick, but nowhere like the normal population. So we don't need pharmaceutical industries, we don't need medical industries to the degree we have.
I have lived 2 pregnancies now, also in this state, and I think it's also interesting to note that in these experiences, I also don't feel hunger. With my son Inti, I didn't feel at all the desire even to drink much or eat. Almost, I think, maybe 4 times in my pregnancy with him, I ate something. And this was like in social settings. No, I'm not a craving mama. I get asked the question all the time, what are your cravings? What do you want to have, you know? And
Are you vegetarian?
no. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Nice.
That's what is for me the most wonderful thing that make me satisfied, make me nourish constantly. And that satisfies such a level, all my mind, my emotions, my being, and that joy makes me free of needing other things to be happy.
And everyone's already living on prana, or we couldn't have life. Prana is that energy force that's breathing us and allowing molecules to come around this essence energy so we can have life in this realm. It's the same essence in all. So if my essence is your essence and my essence has this gift just by aligning more to it to live purely on prana, then anyone can.
The pranic consciousness is also about this higher intelligence that exists within all of us, and it gives us the possibility to know that we don't have to search outside for someone else to give us the answer or to guide us, that we have all of the answers within us.
She's on my hand.
Yeah, look at how beautiful.
Just sit down in silence and ask to experience who you really are. Ask to experience all the gifts your essence has for you, and you'll find all sorts of dimensions and realities opening up to you that will take away every hunger you may have ever had. And then a human system is truly free.
Okay,
Any comments on this one, by the way, before we
that was
continue?
excellent. I think it was fascinating because she was pregnant.
I know. That's why I wanted to show that first, right?
I mean, that was nice to hear people talking about it. It certainly wouldn't, trying to be objective, it doesn't add, like it didn't offer anything that makes something conclusive about it. I mean, I guess you would have to really research it and try to experience some of it yourself. But that, it's nice there's people out there that are saying they're living on prana.
Yeah, and Jasmuheen and others go out into the world and educate people on this, and they teach them how to do it, right? And she's done that in the ghettos of Brazil. She's gone into India, China, and other countries like that. Okay, Kenny?
So I'm trying to be Mr. Scientific here. New science. So the observation there is that there's people who live without eating and drinking.
Yeah.
And that part seems credible based on what we just saw. But they didn't offer an explanation. I mean, there was a sort of a poetic comment by that one woman, the very last one. So far we've seen the beauty of it, or this is very cool. And I'm just dying to find out how they explain it.
Yeah.
and how the training goes and all that kind of stuff.